Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I am here with another topic of plant embryology, that is ovule development and megasporogenesis. In this presentation I will try to cover that how ovule development takes place inside the ovary, and I will discuss the parts of ovule and other associated structures, some special structures which are present, and finally I will discuss about megasporogenesis. So these are the topics that I will try to cover in this presentation. Let's start. Ovule development, it starts on the surface of a special structure which is known as placenta inside the ovary. So placenta के अंदर एक जो ये स्पेशल स्ट्रक्चर है इसके सरफेस से स्टार्ट होता है ओव्यूल का डेवलपमेंट. एक स्मॉल प्रोट्यूबरेंस अपीयर होता है ऑन इस सरफेस और ये बनता है ड्यू टू पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन ऑफ हाइपोडर्मल सेल ऑफ प्लासेंटा. जो हाइपोडर्मल सेल्स हैं there is 1 to 2 layer below the epidermis. वहाँ पे कुछ सेल they will undergo the periclinal division जिससे कि number of layers increase होती हैं and they give rise to a protuberance which is known as ovular protuberance. और ये जो ovular protuberance है it will further undergo periclinal as well as anticlinal divisions to form full-fledged ovule, and it will give rise to ovule. This is the way how ovule development takes place. We will discuss it one by one. So firstly, जो सरफेस है प्लासेंटा का, दैट इज अ स्पेशल स्ट्रक्चर विच इज प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द ओवरी, वहाँ पे स्टार्ट होती है डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ओव्यूल. देन ईच ओव्यूलर प्राइमोडियल अराइजेज एज अ स्मॉल ओवॉइड प्रोट्यूबरेंस. जो भी ओव्यूलर प्राइमोडियल है वो एक छोटी सी प्रोट्यूबरेंस की फॉर्म में ओवरी के अंदर ओरिजिनेट होता है and it develops as a result of periclinal divisions in one or many cells of hypodermal layer. जो hypodermal layers हैं उनके या एक ही सेल में या फिर बहुत सारे सेल they will undergo periclinal division and they will give rise to this small ovoid protuberance जो कि फ्यूचर का ओव्यूल बनाएगा. और जो hypodermal layer है that may be the first or second layer below the epidermis of placenta. So placenta की जो hypodermal layers हैं वहाँ पे as a protuberance, ovoid protuberance arise होता है ovule. This ovular primordium, जो ovular primordium है, it will further grows in size due to many periclinal as well as anticlinal divisions. I have already discussed about these divisions. So इसकी वजह से ये ovular primordial further grow करता है, it will grow in size. Then whole of this tissue grows into a nucellus. जो भी टिश्यू इसके अंदर बनता है that grows into a nucellus which will be a nutritive tissue for the next stage in ovule development is formation of integuments, and this formation of integument starts in the form of a ring like structure from the nucellar apex. जो nucellar apex है यहाँ से start होता है ये formation in the form of a ring like structure and it covers the entire nucellus. और ये cover करता है entire nucellus को except at one place which is known as micropyle. उसे कहते हैं micropyle. और ये cover करता है entire nucellus को except at this place which is known as micropyle. In addition to this, जो inner integument है it grows faster than the outer one and it arises from epidermal cells. जो outer integument it arises from sub-epidermal cell. In addition to this, the various curvatures of different ovules depends upon the differential growth in different regions of the ovule. So firstly, the development of integument starts as a complete ring-like structure at the base of growing nucellar apex. जो base of growing nucellar apex है वहाँ से start होता है ये. After the initiation of nucellar development, then it grows upward. और ये grow करता है upward and it completely covers the nucellus except in the region of a narrow opening which is known as micropyle. ये entirely cover करता है nucellus को except at one place which is known as micropyle. The inner integument which arises from the epidermal layer, जो अंदर वाला integument है वो epidermal layer से arise होता है. It grows faster than the outer integument arising from the sub-epidermal layer. Then the various types of curvatures in different type of ovules is due to differential growth in different regions of developing ovules. So this is the reason जो differential growth होती है different region of ovules में, that is responsible for various types of curvatures in different types of ovule. The next comes parts of an ovule. So different parts, and the first is the integuments जो outer covering है. So this is a protective layer. It is a protective layer that encloses the nucellus of the ovule and develops into testa of the seed. और ये बनाता है seed का testa. So this is the protective layer which is known as integument. Usually the ovule possesses either one integument or two integument. या तो किसी ovule में एक ही integument होता है, उसे कहते हैं unitagmic ovule, and in most of the ovules there are two integuments which is known as bitagmic ovule. उसे कहते हैं bitagmic ovule. So this unitagmic ovule is characteristic of sympatally. जो sympatally है उसके characteristic feature है unitagmic ovule, where it is generally massive in structure. The next, in Archiclamidae and Monocotyledons, most genera possesses two integuments, and that is bitagmic, but a few possesses only one. तो ये जो genera है इनमें present होते हैं दो integuments, that is Archiclamidae and Monoclamidae. In some plants, a third integument is also present. कुछ एक plants में एक third integument की तरह structure present होता है जिसे कहते हैं aril. It is also present. This is very important structure. In many plants, the outer integument becomes fleshy or juicy and is known as sarcotesta. कुछ plants में जो बाहर वाला portion है that becomes fleshy. जैसे ये जो structure है in pomegranate जो हम खाते हैं, इसमें जो outer fleshy structure है that is formed by this outer integument which is known as sarcotesta. So we eat these sarcotesta which are juicy in case of pomegranate. Then these integuments are absent. Then we use the term atagmic. In some plants like we have crinum. This is the photograph of crinum. Then loranthus, which is a parasitic plant. ये एक parasitic plant है जो grow करता है angiosperm के ऊपर. Then we have this santalum, which is the sandalwood. So ये जो plants हैं इनमें integuments absent होते हैं. These जो ovules होते हैं, these ovules are atagmic. Then in some plants, these both the integuments exhibit various degree of fusions. So ये different degree of fusion show करते हैं दोनों integument. In most of the cases, they are free in micropyle region. ये free होते हैं micropyle region में and fuse at the chargal end. The inner integument is longer than the outer one in most of the ovules except Lania and Rus. So this is the photograph of Lania and this is the photograph of Rus. तो in plants में ये जो inner integument है वो longer नहीं होता. Otherwise most of the plants जो ovule है inner integument is longer than the outer one where they are equal in size. इन दो plants में ये जो integuments हैं वो होते हैं equal size के. The outer integument contains chloroplast and is green in several monocots. So कुछ monocots हैं जिनमें outer integument green color का होता है. It means it bear chloroplast. For example, we have Amaryllis. This is the photograph of Amaryllis, which is an ornamental plant. Then Gladiolus, जो कि बहुत ही common plant है, ornamental plant. It is used to make bouquet. Then the next flower is the Lilium. So ये जो plants हैं इनमें outer integument में present होता है chloroplast and they are green. Next comes some special structures which are associated with ovule. Firstly, we have aril. So this is the third integument. It is fleshy colored covering on the seed in some cases. For example, we have Texas fruit. This is Texas fruit. It is supernumerary third integument. तो ये एक supernumerary third integument है rising from the base of ovule or funicle. जो arise होता है ovule और funicle means funicle और ovule के base से arise होता है. Aril covers the two integuments. ये दो जो integument है उन्हें cover करता है. For example, we have Myristica and lychee. So this is the fruit of lychee. जो हम lychee में edible part खाते हैं, the edible portion is aril, fleshy aril. This is an example of aril. Next structure is Caruncle. This structure is present near the micropyle or hilum of the seed. जो micropyle है और hilum है seed का, उसके पास as an outgrowth present होता है. Basically this is an outgrowth of outer integument. जो outer integument है उसकी एक outgrowth है. Firstly it grows. In growth then it moves backward direction and covers the ovule partially, and this structure is known as caruncle. So it is an outgrowth near the micropyle and hilum of the seed. Micropyle और hilum के पास ये present होता है seed के. Basically it is an outgrowth of outer integument. ये होती है outer integument की outgrowth. The outer integument firstly overgrows and thereafter turn backwards. पहले ये overgrow करता है means elongate होता है, then it turns backward and partially covers the ovule, और बाद में ये cover करता है ovule को partially, and this structure is found in some plants like we have caria, then castor which is Ricinus communis, जिसे डालडा भी बोलते हैं, अरंडे भी बोलते हैं. So this seed of castor contains this outgrowth which is known as caruncle. इसे बोलते हैं caruncle, and it is basically an outgrowth of outer integument. The next special structure is endothelium. This special structure is present in unitagmic ovules of sympatly. जो unitagmic ovule है मीन्स जिसमें सिंगल integument present होता है, वैसे ovule sympatly के उनमें present होता है endothelium, and this tissue develops in those cases where nucellus degenerates at early stages. तो ये endothelium बनता है उन ovules में जिनमें nucellus early stages में disintegrate होता है, and so this structure is formed in those ovules जिसमें nucellus early stages में disintegrate होता है. In this case the integuments become highly specialized. जो integuments हैं वो बहुत ही specialized हो जाते हैं to form a single or multi-layered nutritive tissue, और ये बनाते हैं nutritive tissue, and they act as a tapetum. जो integuments के cells हैं they becomes highly specialized and they provide nourishment, और ये tapetum की तरह काम करते हैं. So that's why this type of structure जो endothelium है इसे कहा जाता है integumentary tapetum भी. So this structure is present in unitagmic ovule of sympatly. जो unitagmic ovules हैं sympatly के उनमें ये present होता है, and this is a structure which is found in those ovule जिनमें जो nucellus है वो early stages में disintegrate होता है. Then the integument becomes highly specialized to form a single or multi-layered nutritive tissue. जो integument है उसी से बनता है specialized tissue जो कि single और multi-layered होता है to form this nutritive tissue, and these cells are radially elongated and are polyploid in nature. जो ये cells हैं they are polyploid, और ये देखा गया है कि there is one plant which is known as pedicularis, उसमें जो ploidy level है there is 32N. So ये जो nutritive cells हैं उनमें ये ploidy level देखा गया, that is 32N in pedicularis. Then as the endothelium provides nourishment which is similar to tapetum, so it is also known as integumentary tapetum. ये nutrition provide करता है जैसे tapetum nutrition provide करता है. So that's why this endothelium is also known as integumentary tapetum. In addition to this, जो endothelium के cells हैं, these cells are rich in carbohydrate, proteins, RNA, और इसके अलावा इसमें present होता है ascorbic acid. तो ये सारी चीज़ें इसमें प्रेजेंट होती हैं जो एंडोथेलियम के सेल हैं. सो दीज सेल्स आर रिच इन कार्बोहाइड्रेट, प्रोटीन्स, आरएनए एंड एस्कॉर्बिक एसिड. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे प्रोवाइड नरिशमेंट एंड दे एक्ट एज द टैपेटम, और इसीलिए इन्हें इंटेगुमेंट्री टैपेटम भी कहा जाता है. सो दिस एंडोथेलियम इज प्रेजेंट इन दोज ओव्यूल जिनमें न्यूसेलस इज शॉर्ट लिव्ड, जिनमें न्यूसेलस अर्ली स्टेजेस में ही. The next important part of ovule is micropyle. It is basically an opening जो कि बनाई जाती है single integument या दोनों ही integument के द्वारा. So this is a narrow opening present at the apex of an ovule. जो ovule के apex में present होती है. It is formed either by one or both the integuments. इसमें एक integument involve हो सकता है या फिर दोनों integuments involve होते हैं. In some cases, like micropyle is totally obliterated in case of Houstonia, member of family Rubiaceae, and is partially obliterated in case of Ficus cynomorium due to growth of integuments in some taxa. So ये partially or totally obliterated होता है in some cases like we have Houstonia and Ficus and cynomorium. Micropyle remain filled with some mucilaginous substance or mucilaginous material in Grevillea. जो Grevillea है इस plant में micropyle filled होता है एक mucilaginous substance से. If both the integuments contribute to the formation of micropyle, then we use different terms. If the opening is formed by outer integument, अगर opening बनती है outer integument से, it is known as exostome. Then we use the term exostome. If this opening is formed by inner integument, it is known as endostome. So ये हम terms use करते हैं. on the basis of involvement of integument. कौन सा integument involved है? If outer integument is involved in the formation of this opening, it is known as exostome. If inner integument is involved in formation of this opening, which is known as endostome. Next important part of ovule is nucellus. Basically, it is a nutritive tissue which provide nourishment to the developing embryo sac. ये developing embryo sac को nutrition provide करता है. And it is consumed completely with the development and maturation of the endosperm. जैसे जैसे endosperm mature होता है वैसे ही ये completely इसको consume कर लेता है. So this is basically a central nutritive tissue of the ovule containing embryo sac and surrounded by integuments. एक nutritive tissue है जिसको surround करते हैं integuments that we have already discussed, and it provide nourishment to the embryo sac. और ये provide करता है nourishment to the embryo sac. Embryo sac को ये nourishment provide करता है. It may persist in some cases, like we have family Piperaceae and Sitaminae. तो इन families के members में ये persist करता है. Otherwise, it is consumed completely with the development and maturation of the endosperm. जैसे जैसे endosperm mature होता है वैसे वैसे ही ये जो nucellus है completely consume करते हैं ovules, जो plants हैं. Then, in some cases, a massive nucellus with deeply located sporogenous cells occur in the member of polypetally and monocotyledons, which persist till the ripening of ovule. तो कुछ ovules में present होता है massive nucellus, like we have polypetally and monocotyledons, जिसमें sporogenous cells are deeply located, and जो ये nucellus persists till the ripening of ovule. जब तक ovule mature न हो जाए तब तक ये रहता है. Such ovules are known as crassinucellate ovules. ऐसे ovules को बोलते हैं crassinucellate ovules, and they are usually biteguments. It means they bear two integuments. ऐसे ovules में present होते हैं दो integuments. So this type of nucellus is known as crassinucellate type of nucellus. Then a single layered nucellus occurs around the sporogenous cells in the member of gamopetally. जो gamopetally है, it means which have fused petals. उनमें एक single layer of nucellus present होता है. And these type of ovules are known as tenunucellate ovules. Tenu means little, and they are unitegumic. और इसमें present होता है single integument. Both types of ovule, that is tenunucellate and crassinucellate type of ovules, occur in butomus and Ophiopogon. ये कुछ plants हैं जिनमें दोनों तरह के ovules पाए जाते हैं. Then there is one plant which is named as Oldenlandia. जो ये plant है इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा reduction हुई है nucellar tissue में, and this nucellar tissue is represented by only a single celled cap over the sporogenous cell. जो sporogenous cells हैं उसके ऊपर एक single celled cap की form में present होता है nucellar tissue. So this plant shows highest reduction in nucellar tissue. And there is one plant that is known as Houstonia. इस plant में nucellus होता है completely absent. So nucellus tissue is absent in Houstonia. Nucellus mostly contained inside the integuments. Mostly integuments के अंदर present होता है ये tissue, but it may grow up to micropyle in case of Caryophyllaceae. जो Caryophyllaceae के members हैं इसमें ये nucellus grow करता है up to the micropyle, और it may protrude out of the micropyle. कुछ cases में ये micropyle से बाहर आता है in the form of a nucellar beak. एक nucellar beak की form है, like in case of Codium variegatum of Euphorbiaceae. तो एक plant है Codium variegatum जिसमें ये nucellus tissue आता है micropyle से बाहर and forms a beak-like structure which is known as nucellar beak. And this is found in the member of Euphorbiaceae, that is Codium variegatum. Next structure is epistase. This is a thick-walled cap-like structure which is present just above the embryo sac. Embryo sac के just ऊपर present होता है cap की तरह structure जिसे कहते हैं epistase. So this is a thick-walled cap-like structure which is present just above the embryo sac. जो embryo sac के just ऊपर present होता है. It is made up of modified nucellar cell in some taxa. कुछ एक taxa है जिनमें ये बनता है nucellar cells की modification से, like we have agave, costus, कॉस्टेलिया एंड रियोम। इन प्लांट्स में ये बनता है बाय द मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ न्यूसेलर सेल्स एंड द एग्जैक्ट फंक्शन ऑफ दिस स्ट्रक्चर विच इज एपिस्टेज इज नॉट नोन। हमें पता नहीं है कि इसका एग्जैक्ट फंक्शन क्या है। द नेक्स्ट स्ट्रक्चर इज हाइपोस्टेज। हाइपो मीन्स लोअर। So this is a group of cell which is present at the base of embryo and at the base of embryo sac and the vascular supply of funiculus। तो funiculus की जो vascular supply है और जो embryo sac का base है, इस यहाँ पे present होता है group of cell which is known as hypostase, उसे कहते हैं hypostase। And these cells have poor cytoplasmic content एंड डिफॉर्म्ड न्यूक्लियाई। पुअर साइटोप्लाज्मिक कंटेंट होता है इसमें, बहुत कम साइटोप्लाज्म, एंड डिफॉर्म्ड न्यूक्लियाई भी इसमें डिफॉर्म्ड होते हैं। दे रिमेन सेल, जो सेल्स हैं दे रिमेन थिन वॉल्ड और मे बिकम सुबराइज्ड। और ये जो सेल्स हैं दे मे बी थिन वॉल्ड और ये रह सकते हैं सुबराइज्ड स्क्लेरेंकाइमेटस, जो हाइपोस्टेज के सेल्स हैं। एंड दे हैव बीन रिपोर्टेड इन सम फैमिलीज लाइक वी हैव एपीएससी, यूफोर्बिएसी, लिलिएसी एंड लॉरेंथेसी। तो इन फैमिलीज के मेंबर्स में ये रिपोर्ट किया गया है। द नेक्स्ट कम्स फंक्शंस ऑफ हाइपोस्टेज। तो इसके बहुत सारे फंक्शंस हैं, लाइक द फर्स्ट वन, इट ट्रांसपोर्ट्स द न्यूट्रिएंट्स टू द एम्ब्रियो सैक। सो इट एक्ट एज अ ट्रांसपोर्टर। तो ये न्यूट्रिएंट्स को ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है एम्ब्रियो सैक के लिए। इट एक्ट एज अ लिमिटिंग बाउंड्री फॉर द चैलेजल एक्सपेंशन ऑफ एम्ब्रियो सैक। तो चैलेजल एक्सपेंशन के लिए ये बाउंड्री की तरह काम करता है, ज़्यादा एक्सपेंड नहीं हो पाता है। It maintains water balance in the seed during dormancy। Dormancy के समय में ये water balance maintain करता है seed में। It is considered to produce certain enzymes or hormones that play their protective role in mature seeds। तो ये as a source of कुछ hormones और enzymes का माना जाता है जो एक important role play करते हैं, protective role in the mature seed, जो mature seed को viable बनाने में, रखने में help करते हैं। Next structure is obturator. So this is an outgrowth of placenta or funicle or integument which is present near the micropyle, जो कि micropyle के पास present होता है। And the main function of this structure, that is obturator, is it acts as a guiding tissue for the entry of pollen tube। ये pollen tube की entry के लिए guiding tissue की तरह काम करता है। And it is composed of thin-walled compactly enriched tissue or loose hairy outgrowth consisting of cells, जो सेल्स होते हैं विद डेंस साइटोप्लाज्म, एक्सेसिव एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम, डिक्टियोसोम्स और वेसिकल्स, ये प्रेजेंट होती है इन सेल्स में जो ऑब्ट्यूरेटर बनाते हैं। द सेल्स ऑफ ऑब्ट्यूरेटर प्रोवाइड कीमोटैक्टिक और मैकेनिकल गाइडेंस टू ग्रोइंग पोलन ट्यूब इनसाइड द ओवरी। सो ओवरी के अंदर पोलन ट्यूब को ये प्रोवाइड करते हैं मैकेनिकल गाइडेंस और कीमोटैक्टिव गाइडेंस। एंड एग्जाम्पल्स जिसमें ऑब्ट्यूरेटर प्रेजेंट होता है, लाइक वी हैव मेंबर्स ऑफ फैमिली एकेंथेसी, एनाकार्डियेसी, यूफोर्बिएसी, इरिडेसी एंड मैग्नोलिएसी। सो ये फैमिलीज हैं जिनमें प्रेजेंट होता है ऑब्ट्यूरेटर। नेक्स्ट कम्स मेगास्पोरोजेनेसिस। इट इज़ द प्रोसेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मेगास्पोर्स फ्रॉम मेगास्पोर मदर सेल्स। सो द प्रोसेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ हैप्लॉइड मेगास्पोर्स फ्रॉम द मेगास्पोर मदर सेल विच आर डिप्लॉयड, जो कि डिप्लॉयड होते हैं। As we know that in young ovule nucellar tissue is present। जो young ovule होते हैं उसमें present होता है nucellar tissue and a single hypodermal or sub-epidermal archisporal cell differentiate at the apex of micropyle region। जो micropyle region का apex है वहाँ पे nucellar tissue के पास एक single cell differentiate होता है, that becomes archisporal cell। But in some cases there are multicellular archisporium। जो मल्टीसेलर आर्चिस्पोरियम भी किसी कुछ फैमिलीज में रिपोर्ट किए गए, लाइक वी हैव फैमिली एपीएसी, फेबेसी, पोएसी, रेनक्लेसी एंड सैलिकेसी। इन फैमिलीज में मल्टीसेलर आर्चिस्पोरियम प्रेजेंट है। द आर्चिस्पोरियल सेल इज लार्ज एज कम्पेयर टू द adjoining cells, तो इसको हम इजिली डिफ्रेंशिएट कर सकते हैं। सो द लार्ज सेल इज द आर्चिस्पोरियल सेल। इट कंटेन्स डेंस साइटोप्लाज्म एंड प्रोमिनेंट न्यूक्लियस। और जो आर्चिस्पोरियल सेल है दैट में डायरेक्टली फंक्शंस एज मेगास्पोर मदर सेल। ये डायरेक्टली बिहेव कर सकता है मेगास्पोर मदर सेल इन गेमोपेटली विद टैनी न्यूसेलेट ओव्यूल, जिनमें कम न्यूसेलस प्रेजेंट होता है उन केसेस में, और जो गेमोपेटली है उन केसेस में मेगास्पोर मदर सेल डायरेक्टली बिहेव करता है आर्चिस्पोरियल सेल। So this archisporial cell directly behaves as megaspore mother cell and undergo the meiotic division, that is reductional division, to form functional megaspores, to form 4 functional more spores. Out of these 4, only one will survive. So in this case, जो हाइपोडर्मल रीजन है वहाँ पे एक सेल डिफरेंशिएट होता है, that becomes archisporial cell. It can directly behave as megaspore mother cell. It will undergo meiotic division and forms the 4 megaspores, और ये 4 megaspore बनाता है. Out of these 4, one will become functional and the rest of the megaspore will disintegrate, as in case of Elateria equalis. So this megaspore mother cell is the last cell of sporophytic generation. तो ये है last cell of sporophytic generation, means diploid generation. जो megaspore that becomes haploid after which is formed after the division of meiotic division. Next, in polypetally and monocotyledons with crassinucellate ovules, the archisporial cell undergoes periclinal division. ये directly behave नहीं करता है megaspore cell. It will undergo periclinal division to form outer primary parietal cell, जो बनाता है बाहर का primary parietal cell and the inner sporogenous cell, which is the inner primary sporogenous cell, which acts as a female archisporium. The later this will function as megaspore mother cell. जो inner sporogenous cell है, it behaves as megaspore mother cell. Then this will undergo the reductional division to produce single functional megaspore. It will undergo this reductional division, meiotic division, and it will form the megaspores. 4 megaspores बनेंगे. Out of these 4 megaspores, one will survive. One will act as a functional megaspore. Although 4 megaspores are arranged in linear tetrad in most of the angiosperms, सभी angiosperm में approximately सभी angiosperm में linear form में megaspores arranged होते हैं जो tetrad बनता है. But there are some exceptions, like in some cases the upper and lower cell of the tetrad divide vertically or longitudinally and form T-shape or inverted T-shaped tetrads. और ये किसी केस में बनते हैं inverted T-shape और T-shaped tetrads. While in case of Festia japonica, जो Festia japonica है इसमें present होते हैं megaspore tetrads in tetrahedral manner, while isobilateral in case of Musa में present होते हैं isobilateral form. However, the functional megaspore can also be micropylar as well as in case of Astraceae or Onagraceae. So ये कुछ families हैं जिनमें जो micropylar end वाला megaspore है that become functional, like in case of Astraceae and Onagraceae. In Casuarina suburna, this archisporiums divide repeatedly to form about 300 cells which are arranged in a row. तो Casuarina के केस में archisporial cell divide करता है repeatedly to form approximately 300 cells. Out of these 300 cells, few will survive. कुछ एक इसमें survive करेंगे, they become megaspore tetrad and other will degenerate within time. और बाकी के rest of the cells will disintegrate. So these are the references that I have used to prepare this presentation. So this was all about for our today's discussion. Hope you will get some idea from this presentation. If you have any questions, queries, and any suggestions, you can give it in comment section. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.